Hello! What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another prediction video for these World Cup qualifiers. This time we're going to be focusing on CONCACAF. Lots of massive matchups for many of these teams, as Canada have probably clinched their World Cup spot at this point. However, the USA, Mexico, Panama, Costa Rica, and even El Salvador are all still in the fight. Similar to my South America World Cup qualifier predictions, I'm going to be going down the list for all these matches, giving my prediction on what will happen, and I'll obviously be showing the table after each match day, even at the end, so you'll see who I think will qualify at the end and who won't. But this time I am joined with a special guest. Next Generation Football is joining us for these predictions, and he has a lot of knowledge on CONCACAF, so it will definitely be nice to get some input on his thoughts as well. Make sure you go check out his channel. I'll leave a link in the description. Hit the like and the subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's get into it. So first match we're looking at is Jamaica versus El Salvador. Now, Jamaica doesn't stand a chance anymore, but El Salvador do have the tiniest chance. It obviously depends on how Panama and Costa Rica do, but things aren't looking very likely for them.
I think this game has a draw written all over it. Jamaica, they added Mikel Antonio late on. He's been a great addition for them. And El Salvador are mathematically still in it. I don't think they will finish in a fourth place spot, but I think this game has a tie written all over. They both have a point to prove. So I'm going to go with probably a 1-1 draw in this game.
I mean, like you said, although they brought in Antonio, Jamaica's still not looking too impressive, but I'm going to say they grab a win in this. I'm going to say they grab a 2-0 win against El Salvador. Now for Panama versus Honduras. Massive match for Panama. Obviously, they sit at fourth right now, and they need to just grab as many points as possible. They have a pretty tough schedule as they have to face the United States in the United States, so not looking the best for them. So they got to take advantage of this match and hopefully grab 3 points. I'm going to say they're able to grab a 3-1 win.
This is their one game that is the must-win game because they play the U.S., as you said, next. They play Canada, who at that point will most likely be qualified, already guaranteed qualification for the World Cup. So it does depend what kind of lineup Canada will put out. But regardless, I think Canada want to keep that stature of being the kings of CONCACAF. I did a video talking about, they're undefeated. They are currently the kings of CONCACAF. Doesn't matter what trophies they have or haven't won. If they go in this campaign undefeated, top of this qualification group, Canada are going to be known as the big dogs in CONCACAF. So I think this is important for Panama to make a statement when going into the U.S. game, because they want to make the USA players quake in their boots a little bit. They want to make them a little bit frightened. So I think they might go out with a 3-0 big win in this game to make a statement, going heads high against the U.S. So they have a chance to get a draw out of that game, which will help them out massively.
Honduras, bottom of the table, no wins so far. I don't think they'll grab a win against a Panama that's super determined to do whatever they can to clinch a World Cup spot. Can they do it again? The 2018 miracle was obviously fantastic for them, as the USA crashed at the very end. Good luck to Panama. Now for the big match. Mexico versus the United States of America. In the previous encounters, recently, the United States was victorious over Mexico, but this time, things are a bit different. McKennie is now injured, which is a huge loss, and Mexico, I think, can be super determined to do whatever they can to grab a win in this match. Obviously, their squad has always been pretty strong, but with these recent defeats against the US, and now they share the same amount of points, they're going to want to do whatever they can to beat the USA. Obviously, they let the emotions get to them at moments in their battles in the past. I think they'll be not 100% cool and composed, but they'll be a little bit more level-headed and do whatever they can to grab a win. And obviously, we know the USA has been a bit sloppy recently. Obviously, Greg Berhalter is not a great talking point amongst many fans.
He's not a fan favorite.
I think Mexico can grab a 2-0 win, especially due to the fact that they're playing at home. I think this is the match where USA possibly slip and grab no points, where, they'll definitely have to reconsider how they play in the next 2 matches.
I agree and disagree. Yes, Weston McKennie is actually a really big loss for the U.S. men's national team. If you think about the 2 final wins that they had against Mexico, all their goals were scored. None of them were scored from open play. They were either set pieces or a penalty. And Weston McKennie is the king on set pieces. For club and country, he's arguably been the best player for them. Mexico, though, we've seen Raul Jimenez come back into the fold. He's getting back, maybe not as the player that he was pre-injury, but he's getting back in form. Irving Lozano's came back from injury. He's starting to play a lot more. Tecatito Corona made the move from Porto to Sevilla, and now he seems like he's playing more like himself. You see him on the ball. It's really good to see. It's tough because USA have Mexico's number, and I think if they're going to do this, if they're going to win finally at the Azteca because they've never done it before, it's going to be now. because they have their number. I think this is the opportunity. If they're not going to do it now, I don't think they're going to do it for another 2 decades. That's just that's my take on this. It's either a win or a loss for US. I don't see anything in the middle for them. Serginho Dest as well is not going to be in this. Another big miss for them. I think Mexico will get this because Tata's neck's on the line. The Mexican players' necks are on the line. They haven't been that spectacular in World Cup qualifying. They haven't won a lot of the games they should have. And they haven't beaten the U.S. in ages. It's been so long since Mexico's done it. I think this is the time Mexico finally nut up or shut up, and they get a win against the U.S.
I mean, good luck to you, the United States. Obviously, in recent history, this prediction doesn't add up. But as of now, I see Mexico doing whatever they can. They know how important this is. Obviously, the U.S. do as well, but with these losses, McKennie, Serginho Dest, it's going to be a super tough task. Now, for Costa Rica versus Canada, a massive matchup, obviously, as Canada, if they win this match, they automatically qualify. Costa Rica, on the other hand, want to get whatever points they possibly can, as they still are very much in the race, and they are in pretty solid form recently. Obviously, Canada still haven't gotten a single loss in the World Cup qualifiers yet. Can Costa Rica make it their first? I'm going to say no. I think it's possible that Costa Rica does delay Canada's success, maybe making it a draw. I also see the Canadian national team just being super motivated to get the job done ASAP. They will be missing Alphonso Davies. He's still recovering. He will be back in a few weeks, but yeah, he won't be in this roster. But we've still seen how well they play without him. They got a fantastic win against the United States. Lots of fantastic players. Manager's doing a fantastic job as well. But Kyle Larin, believe he's the top goal scorer in these qualifiers right now. I'm going to say that Canada do the job, finish it up for a 2-1 win against Costa Rica.
I think this game's got a draw written all over it. As you said, I think they're going to delay Canada's hopes of making that automatic qualification. I'm sorry to all the Canadians. I don't think it'll happen in this game. I think Costa Rica have been on absolute smoke in their previous qualification. They want to give that proper send-off to Brian Ruiz, so I'm going to say a draw. And it's also, I believe Canada haven't had a good time in Costa Rica as well. It's a really tough place to play for a lot of these, powerhouse nations in CONCACAF, and so it'll be interesting to see. They did break their duck in winning in El Salvador, winning in Honduras, so Canada has done the impossible to a certain degree, so maybe they might do it this time. I'm going to say a draw. I think that will still benefit Costa Rica. I mean, going into this, a draw will probably be the result they're hoping for.
So here is what each of our tables look like after the first of the 3 match days in this final international break. Both of us predict that Mexico will be able to top the United States after this match day. And on my table, I also have Jamaica topping El Salvador for now. Canada versus Jamaica. If my previous prediction comes true, maybe the motivation won't be as high against Jamaica if they've already qualified for the World Cup. I still see Canada doing the job at the end of the day. I'm going to go for a big win, actually, 3-0.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's going to be a 3-1 win for Canada. I think this is going to be the game where the Canadian streets are going to be celebrating for their automatic qualification and a big win against Jamaica. And I think this is the game where Canada stamped their ticket to Qatar and stamp themselves as the king of CONCACAF in this qualifier, as I think they'll be out of reach for everyone else to catch up to them at first place.
Whether it's the match against Costa Rica or in Jamaica, they're qualifying for the World Cup, and I'm very curious to see how they do. They're going to be a super exciting underdog in the tournament. Now for El Salvador versus Costa Rica. Although I said Costa Rica would not grab the win against Canada, I think even though they're playing away, they'll do the job here. I'm going to say Costa Rica grab a 4-1 win.
That's a big boy result. I agree with you with the win, but I'm going to say a 1-0 win. Costa Rica are just a nice, tidy national team on how they play. I think this is going to be a nice 1-0 win for Costa Rica to keep their hopes alive into their final game against the U.S.
Now for USA versus Panama, massive matchup for both of these sides. This is the one match the USA is playing at home. They have to take advantage of this opportunity to grab 3 points desperately, especially if that Mexico match comes true where they lose. Their final match is being played against Costa Rica, which we will get into later, but that is also a very iffy matchup. I'm going to say that the USA will take advantage of this, though. They will grab a 2-1 win against Panama. It won't be easy. It won't be a clean win. Greg Berhalter will still get a lot of hate thrown at him, but they'll do the job at the end of the day, grab the 3 points, and hope for the best against Costa Rica.
For me, in this game, it depends on, 2 scenarios. It depends on how Panama do in their opening game, and then same with the U.S. Because I think a lot of it rides on this World Cup qualification cycle for the U.S. is this Mexico game, because that's the game I think that will totally set the tempo for the last two games. I think they can beat Mexico, and I think they can beat Panama. I just don't think they will, and I only can see a draw in this game, especially if Panama come out with a big result in their first match. I could see USA getting a goal early, they're going to get a little bit comfortable, and then Panama nick one later on, and I think it just ends 1-1. I don't see them getting that second goal. I think the misses are going to hurt them a lot. You know, Weston McKennie, I can't emphasize this enough. He's such a linchpin for this team, and Gio Reyna's just coming back from injury. He has said he's pain-free, he's feeling really good, but even the offensive call-ups by Greg Berhalter are so questionable. So I'm going to go with a tie in this game. I think USA get a point against Panama at home.
Now for Honduras versus Mexico.
It's going to be a nice, comfortable... I say comfortable, I'm actually going to say 2-1 win for Mexico. I think they'll win this game. I say comfortable in theory, but now I'm thinking back on it. Maybe it's not going to be comfortable. I think it'll be actually a pretty tight game. Because Mexico, in the games against their lesser opposition in CONCACAF, have made the games really close.
Yeah, I was going to go for something similar. Either 1-0 or 2-1. I'll go with 1-0. I feel like they'll just barely do the job, but they'll grab the 3 points. Now, with the second to last match day done, here is what the table is looking like now for each of us. As you can see from my table, if USA are able to beat Panama, it would be massive as they'd secured a World Cup spot, which means Panama and Costa Rica would have to fight for that playoff spot. And GF's table is looking a lot more exciting than mine, though, as this narrow point gap between the USA, Panama, and Costa Rica leaves many possibilities happening. Now, for another massive one, Panama versus Canada. Panama desperately needed the win, as we know. Canada do actually have a tough last international break. From what we predicted, they would have qualified for the World Cup. And since Panama are on the home team and they desperately need that win, I think they're going to do whatever they can. I think it's actually either going to be a win or a draw for Panama, but Canada still haven't lost a match yet, and I think it's going to stay that way. I'm going to say this match finishes in a 1-1 draw.
I've emphasized it a lot in this video. I don't think Canada want to lose this title and this opportunity that they've carved for themselves to not go undefeated in this World Cup qualification cycle. They've played balls to the wall in every single game. They're playing to their strengths. And that's what you need to do in CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. It doesn't matter if it's flashy or not flashy. As long as you win, I think that's beautiful in itself. And I think they want to keep that title of going undefeated. Panama do need the points, so I'm going to go probably with like a 2-2 draw in this game.
Now, for another big test for USA, we already talked about this match. Costa Rica versus the United States. USA are the away team. Costa Rica looking on fire right now.
This is going to be a tough time for the US. This is the game I know for a fact they will not get points. I know I predicted Mexico to win that game. I still think it's very plausible that the USA could get a win at the Azteca for the first time ever. I think if it's going to happen then and now for them there. So it's between 1 to 4 points for them, but this is the game where USA, I'm almost certain they will not get a single point in this match. They've never even gone a draw in Costa Rica before. It's a place that they've not played well. So I'm going to say yet again, it's going to end up with 0 points. This is going to be Brian Ruiz's final match for Costa Rica. They want to give him the proper send-off. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win for Costa Rica in this game.
Damn, so you're going for only 1 point for the USA in total.
I'm going risky, man.
With these US losses, with their poor management, it's not an unseeable result. And we've already seen the USA bottle their World Cup qualifiers last time. It could easily happen again. Whether or not it's based on that final match day, who knows? I'm going to go for a draw here. I think that the USA will do whatever they can to defend against the mighty Costa Rica. I'm going to say it ends 0-0. Costa Rica will obviously go all out, but the USA will just do whatever they can to not concede. I think they'll have some kind of structure to not leave some terrible gaps in the defense. Maybe they'll do it 1 or 2 times, but their goalkeeper will just come in clutch. Yeah, I'm going for 0-0. USA get 1 point in this, so in total, I'm saying the USA get 4 points in this international break.
As you mentioned, they did bottle a previous World Cup cycle, and none of these players, excluding Christian Pulisic, were part of that squad that failed to qualify in 2018, but these young kids, like, they have the burden on their shoulders about this, and I think it's always in the back of their heads. I do think the USA will qualify. I think they'll probably finish 4th. And I know that's not automatic qualification, but it gets them in the playoff spot. I don't think they'll lose that playoff game. But it is in the back of these players' heads. And you can see it's played a burden on them quite a bit, especially in these away games. So this is going to be a really tough test for the U.S. And they might prove me wrong. And I think they can prove me wrong. Greg just doesn't help himself with the selections he's made. And injuries have hurt him. But they shouldn't be even in this position as is going into these final 3 games. I've got to stick with that 1 point, though, for me.
Second to last match we're looking at. Mexico versus El Salvador. No disrespect to El Salvador and Honduras, but besides that USA game, Mexico actually do have a decent final international break. Definitely an easier task compared to the US. Regardless, they still shouldn't underestimate these teams. But since Mexico are the home team, I feel like they're going to go out with a bang, and it will finish 2-0.
I totally agree with you. I think Mexico have such an easier run than the U.S. in these final 3 games. Their main opponent in these 3 matches is the USA game. El Salvador and Honduras are such easier tasks for them. And the one consistency for Mexico throughout World Cup qualifying is, as much as like their games aren't that comfortable against the lesser opposition, they've still won them. They've been very close, though. They haven't necessarily been comfortable, but they have won them. So I don't see them losing any points in those 2 matches against El Salvador and Honduras. I'm seeing 6 points at minimum for Mexico, and I think this will be the game. I think at this point, all the pressure will be off Tata's shoulders, the players' shoulders. I'm assuming if the predictions, like we've said, go this way, pressure will be off their shoulders. I think they will have a big win in their final game to make a statement going into Qatar for their final World Cup qualification game. And I could see this one ending 4-1 for Mexico.
Final matchup we're looking at, Jamaica versus Honduras. They'll want to make their statements. Honduras maybe want to get their first win. I'm going to say this one finishes in a high-scoring draw, 2-2.
Just for the Honduran boys watching today's video, I'm going to go the Honduras win. They cannot go in World Cup qualifying without a win. So I'm going to go Honduras win this one 1-0. They're going to do it, finally get a win.
I don't see it happening, but if they do, bravo to you, Honduras. So here's what our final tables look like. For me, Canada, Mexico, and USA automatically qualify. Costa Rica just missed their chance by 1 point as Panama clinched that playoff spot. For NGF, things are looking very different as you can see. Canada and Mexico take the top 2 spots, same as mine, but Costa Rica automatically qualify. USA finish in the playoff spot, with Panama just missing out on qualifying. It would be insane if this happens, and it would really break down to goal differentials for USA and Panama. Hopefully, USA don't miss out on qualifying for 2 tournaments in a row. We'll see what happens, though. It's honestly such a close race between all these teams. Special thanks to Next Generation Football for helping me out with this video. Make sure you go check him out. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care. La con noche.